What is Montessori education? Well, Dr. Maria Montessori was one of the first female doctors in Italy at around the turn of the 20th century. Montessori worked with children in her medical practice, and in 1907 was given the opportunity to build a school in a tenement building in the San Lorenzo area of Rome. And in this work, where she started to work with children, these were children ages 3 to 6, this is where her methods started to emerge. Now, she didn't like it being called a method. She called it a support for life and a way of life for the children. But the rest of us have called it a method. And it emerged, the amazing thing about Montessori's approach to children is that it emerged from observation of children. She didn't start completely with an idea and then impose it upon the children. She tried things with the children and responded to what they were showing her. And what she observed was that children build themselves. They construct themselves, and that we really as adults are just there to support that or provide the best environment. So this idea of self-construction, that the child builds themselves, is a cornerstone sort of at the heart of everything we do with children at the different stages of development, of their development. And children build themselves driven by what Montessori called human tendencies that really have driven humans to develop and to survive. So humans explore and they orient themselves to their surroundings. They communicate and group together. There's all these tendencies that help drive our development and ultimately our survival as a species. So it's this idea of self-construction driven by these tendencies that really is behind all that we do with children. In years of working with children, Montessori also saw that there are about 4 developmental stages that children go through from birth to maturity, each about 6 years in length. And the child is different in each of these developmental stages. The child has certain characteristics from birth to 6, and from 6 to 12, those characteristics change. And because the child is so different, our approach to the child has to change for these different stages of their development. And so another fundamental part of Montessori education is that it responds to the children's development, and it changes in approach to support the characteristics of a particular stage of development. So these basic concepts, this idea of self-construction driven by these human tendencies, and that development changes over time, and therefore our approach to the child has to change. This is the sort of core of the Montessori approach. We respond to what children are showing us they need developmentally. We prepare the environment to support that, and we prepare our approach to support the particular characteristics that are being displayed at a given time in the child's development. So it's a developmental approach. It's a child or learner-centered approach. And the role of adults is to support all that the child is doing. At its heart, this is what Montessori education is. It's an approach to supporting each individual child through their development. And we have a variety of specific ways that we do it, and a variety of different techniques and materials we can use to support that. But at its heart, it's an education method really focused on each individual child. So it's learner-centered, and it is developmental. So it changes as the child grows and changes and displays different characteristics in their development.